Hello and welcome to Healthcare IT Today. I'm Colin Hung and I am super excited to be here on site at the Fero International facility. Fero International is a company that does some amazing things for the healthcare industry, and I'm excited to sit down with their CEO, Sabrina Fiorellino. She's going to talk a little bit about what the company does and why healthcare should consider their products for their next build. Sabrina, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much, Colin. It's great to be here.
I am super excited to be here. Thank you for allowing me to come on site. I don't get a chance to come on site very often, so definitely appreciate the tour you gave me and wanted to have our audience learn what I learned today about some of the amazing work that you're doing here. So first of all, for our audience's benefit, can you explain what Fero International is?
Sure. So Fero International is, the way I explain it, volumetric modular building company. And so sometimes we talk about what volumetric modular is. And really, we build buildings in pieces that are built very similar to traditional construction in terms of building codes and materials used, but we build them in a factory-controlled environment, higher quality, and 90% of the construction is complete in our manufacturing facility, and then they're delivered to site and assembled, almost like Lego blocks put together, so less site disruption.
And now you do a lot of work in healthcare, which is what got me super interested. Tell me more about some of that work that you're doing for healthcare organizations.
Sure. So when people think of modular, they think of office trailers or maybe even modular housing or, what you would think of more traditional in modular. We build any healthcare facility or almost any healthcare facility a traditional builder can build. We build modularly. So we've done a 5,200 square foot outpatient clinic for a hospital in Western Canada. We're working on modular renal dialysis for Eastern Canadian province, modular CT or MRI diagnostic imaging clinics, modular clinics for remote communities to do robotic diagnostics, believe it or not, and even modular or mobile on wheels breast screening units. You can do multi-story long-term care. You can do affordable housing or supportive housing with deep healthcare supports or deep mental health supports in it. You can do inpatient rooms, ICUs, operating rooms. You can do hard-shelled military hospitals. So it's a wide range or a wide gambit of things you can build on the healthcare side from a modular perspective.
And what are some of the advantages of maybe going with a modular unit as opposed to a traditional build?
So the way I like to explain it is traditionally we have the same labor costs and the same material costs as traditional construction. Often we have less waste, so it helps decrease the costs, but we can build 30 to 50% faster. So in the environment today where you have an increase in financing costs because of interest rate escalation, et cetera, and you're building 50% faster, your ROI, you get to your ROI way sooner and decreases your overall cost of the project. We also, when we're building in a controlled environment, everything's inside. So you have better QA and QC, no lost days to rain days, weather days, snow days, any of that. So higher quality, less warranty claims, less deficiencies over time. When we built our hospital or our outpatient clinic on factory acceptance, we had 0 deficiencies, which is unheard of really in construction. So, and then lots of sustainability advantages. You don't have trucks going to and from site, less material waste because we have a lot of automation in the plant that cuts drywall to size, cuts our steel to size, and so a lot less waste too.
And when you say speed, I mean, it sounds like some of the applications for this would be where maybe I need to spin up a quick facility somewhere, or maybe I'm building a new building eventually, but need something there right now. It sounds like your modular units would be a perfect fit for that kind of application.
Yeah, so where a lot of, I would say, inbound demand comes from is we have a lot of hospitals that need patient rooms fast, and they have money to build $1 billion hospital in 10 years, but in the interim, they need space now. Long-term care homes that need to renovate because they need to comply with new legislation coming in, but they have nowhere to move their residents. Or you have people who have mass diagnostic backlogs that need diagnostic space now. And so we're able to build facilities that are scalable, facilities that you can put in place for a period of time and then move them over time to different sites if required, or facilities that are permanent and stay there. And what we've learned in healthcare is a lot of people say we need temporary space, but it never moves once it's there. But we can build to move. And then another advantage, I would say very similarly, is in the life sciences space, which is closely connected to healthcare, on the wet lab side. There's mass wet lab shortages, space shortages, and we can build modular wet lab space in a very short period of time, which is expandable or movable, while your 100, 200,000 square feet spaces are being built.
And just to be clear, the units that you folks build, these are complete units. They actually have all of the OR equipment. I mean, not the consumables and things, but it has the lights, it has everything there. And all they have to do really is put it on a foundation and link it up in terms of IT, in terms of electricity and water, right? These are units that are ready to go.
Yeah, so 90 to 95% done in factory. So your HVAC is in, your electrical, mechanical, all those systems, flooring's in, walls are in, screens are in, anything that's a fixture. So operating room light is in, head walls are in. So anything you can think of that would be a fixture in a traditional building is in. Where it's different is there's split lines between the modules. So the modules are the building's carved into smaller modules, and then it gets connected on site. And so once it gets to site, it gets landed on the foundation, and then the site contractor would close the split line, so close your seams, and then plug into power and water, as you suggested. Yeah.
So it can be very, very quick in
very
terms
fast
of
on site.
That lends to what you were saying before about 30 to 50% faster in terms of even when it arrives on site, it's pretty quick to get these things running.
Yeah, and at the same time, you can have your foundation work being completed while we're completing the modules in site, so it'll decrease the total construction time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's listening and watching this in the healthcare space who maybe wasn't thinking about modular before? What would you say to a CEO or to a facilities manager to convince them to give this kind of technology a look?
Yeah, so I would say it's the only solution. It's the only viable solution for a short-term space crisis. So I talk about how technology has advanced significantly over our lifetime. But when we have space crises, whether from war, from natural disaster, from COVID, from any other situation, or simply just that we can't keep up with space, you can't build space overnight. It's not a thing. And so modular does that, and obviously not overnight, but modular does that in the shortest amount of time possible to solve a space crunch in the best way possible, because we're not compromising quality. We're not giving you something that's not built to building code or something that doesn't meet all the highest standards that your traditional construction does. And so we're innovating in how to build the same way people innovate in the technology sector.
In other words, it's not a tent.
Exactly, it's not a tent. Exactly, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Sabrina, you've shared a lot of great information. Where can people go to find more information about Fero?
Yeah, so our website, www.ferointl.com. And I mean, you can look us up, and all our contact information's there. So.
Perfect. Sabrina, thank you so much for being on the program today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Colin. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank Sabrina again for hopping on camera with me and for giving me the tour of their wonderful facility. I am totally fascinated by the modular buildings that they are able to construct, whether that's for an ICU, an OR, or even for a long-term care facility. I think what they're doing is really going to help healthcare, especially as we are so compressed and constricted in terms of space. And hey, if you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, please like and subscribe. Also, head on over to healthcareitttoday.com where you'll find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you on the next video.